Hello and welcome to Dinis Guarda YouTube Podcast series in one more episode of Books ABC. Books ABC is my passion and books are my passion. So when we talk about books, we talk about what makes us better, how we dream, how we think, how we can actually organize better our lives, and especially how we can actually go a step further. When I read a book, I always feel better, especially if it's a great book. I feel special, and it opens a lot of new doors of perception and ways of looking at the world in a new way. And as a thought leader and as an entrepreneur, one of the things that really touched me is entrepreneurship. So today I want to talk about the book that really touched me, The Leadership Challenge. Here we have the cover, and the team will highlight it. So Leadership Challenge by James M. Kouzes and Barry Z. Posner. So this is an international bestseller on the 7th edition, and the subtitle is How to Make Extraordinary Things Happen in Organizations. And it's part of the Leadership Challenge, and this is published by John Wiley and Sons, Inc., and published simultaneously in Canada and worldwide. And this is the 7th edition from 2023. So that's 6 previous editions. So this book is is a benchmark. That's why it has a 7th edition. And it touches the leadership challenges, how to make extraordinary things happen. And it touched me because being a leader, it's very difficult. It's something that touches to how you can actually bring the best out of people and how you can actually bring the best out of you, which is the most difficult thing. And as well, one of the things amazing about the book is about how we can actually look at evidence-based best practice operating system, which is something that I like precisely because this is really very important. And as well, a field guide for leaders, and it touches a lot of different things. So I want to start with a quote that actually the book uses in the beginning in chapter 1. That is, leadership is ultimately about creating a way for people to contribute to making something extraordinary happen. And this is from Alan Kidd. I love this quote, and this is really hardcore difficult. Because in order for you to make extraordinary things to happen, you need to be very well with yourself, to inspire other people, and you need to make sure that you get the best out of people. So that is something that I'm learning, because leadership is a continuous learning, and as well as a continuous work. It's a work on yourself, a work on your skills, and the way you take it forward. So this book has fantastic recommendations for some of the biggest leaders in the world. If you go, there's a lot of quotes here. I will just read probably the quote from Tom Peters, that is a best-selling business author and speaker that is one of the most influential business leaders in terms of thought leadership for business worldwide. Did we really need a 7th edition of Leadership Challenge? The answer is resounding yes. The seminal book series is more important than ever, far more important. The world is a mess. And the best way out, as I see it, is to better our organizations and the lives of their employees. The 5 practices that are the keystone of the book can without doubt trigger an internal revolution of organizational excellence, which can collectively give hope and on a global scale for a brighter future. Bravo, Jim and Barry. I could not make these words better for me, because it's really what I feel about the book, and it's a book that I'm rereading, and I think it's one of the books that will stay with me for a long time. I didn't read the previous edition, so I went directly to the 7th. So I will just go through some of the parts of the book, because I know that most of the people don't have time sometimes to read everything. But the book, like I just mentioned, is based in 5 practices of exemplary leadership and the 5 practices that make a difference. And very important thing, leadership is a relationship. And very important thing is how we put it all together. Credibility is the foundation. So that's very important. This is actually when business leaders are at their best. So the model, the way, so from practice 1 to practice 5, this book explains how to go. So the practice 1, and I want to go through a bit of the structure because it's really important for people, and you really have to read it, but just the structure helps a lot is clarify values. And how do you clarify your values? Finding your voice and the firm shared values. And then how do you set the example, which is the most difficult thing? Live the shared values and teach others to model the values. So this is very, very difficult, but then it peaks from how do you inspire a shared vision? And this is actually more important than ever, because just dealing with people, dealing remotely with technology, like I'm here talking in a video to people all over the world. My team is replaced, for instance, in different parts of the world. There's different cultures, different ways, even the way we talk and the way you express the things. Can some people take it wrong or take it right? And as well, how you keep actually pushing people, even people that you love, but sometimes you have difficulties to affirm and push things forward. So this is partly the practice shoe that touches this, that is inspire a shared vision. Is envision the future is partly how you imagine the possibilities that you have in the present, and you push the vision of the future. And how do you identify a common purpose? This is a very important thing, because people don't feel this, they will not perform, they will not understand the vision of a leader. And now we enlist other people on this vision, even people that we work, that we close. Sometimes we have this difficulty to enlist them and to appeal to common ideals. So practice 3, challenge the process. How do you challenge the process? How do you search for opportunities? Search for opportunities is extremely more difficult in a AI GPT world, where actually technology is distracting us, and very few people know how to use technology. Ironically, I always repeat something that is key. There's a digital obesity. People have access to everything in the internet. People have access to all these books, to all this research, to white papers, to audiobooks, to YouTube channel. But it's important to break the digital obesity and focus what are your values, and challenge the process for these values. Like, this is the biggest difficulty when it comes to technology, when it comes to people like us that work digitally, and as well how you search the opportunities to improve your business, because a lot of failures is because people give up or people become cynical, which is even worse. And this is part of the digital obesity that we're challenging right now, how this can actually be broken, how we can actually move forward, and how we seize the initiative and exercise outside. Then, of course, experiment and take risks. I just recently had a meeting where we're talking about an organization that builds something really amazing, but then you need to go a bit further. You need to take risks. Most of people are in their comfort zones. I talk for myself, and the comfort zones might be just keeping their random structure, not trying to go further, not trying to get out of that comfort zone that might be rotten, but is key. And this is where a good leader needs to punch and take forward. And it's not easy, because you have to work with different words, different perspectives for different cultures, especially, for instance, in my organization, I have people from a lot of different people around the world. This is incredibly difficult. And as well, how you can generate small wins that actually can be celebrated and actually can learn from this experience. So the practice 5 is enable others to act. And this is, of course, about fostering innovation and collaboration, creating a climate of trust, and facilitate relationships. And then, of course, how we strengthen others. Sometimes it's not an easy thing. It's incredibly difficult. And then how you create self-determination, how develop competence and confidence. And this is really difficult, because developing competence and confidence is not something that you just say yes and you just talk nice. You have to be strong, and you have to encourage and take things forward. So practice 5, which is the course field part of this, is encourage the heart. So encourage the heart is key. Recognize contributions, something I need to work as well. Expect the best and personalize recognition. This is a key element for success of a company, for success of a business, and for being a better leader. And leadership is everyone is a leader. You might be a leader of yourself first. You need to be the CEO of yourself, and you need to take force. So celebrate the values and victories, create a spirit of community, be personally involved is a key element, and then treat challenges as an opportunity. Everyone fails, and if you don't, the only people that don't fail are the ones that never did anything. So how you create the leadership that matters, how you liberate the leader within everyone, and how everyone can learn to lead. So this is the structure. And of course, how you become a best self, how you won't always get it right. No one gets it right. And now remember the secret to a success life, because it's about improving the way we are. So I just want to touch probably a bit of the end, because this is supposed to be a small one, and I want to keep it small, especially on the last part of the book. I always like to go to the beginning and the end. So let's look at the end notes of this, and as well some of the things that I think is important. So being a leader is building, first of all, a great life that is a success life, and success is being well with yourself. So I will just pick some words of these fantastic authors. So I remember James M. Kouzes and Barry Z. Posner, and this is actually a seminal book that influenced a lot of leaders and a lot of generations. So I'll go through this because I think it's important. There's one final leadership lesson that we would like to pass along. And it's not insignificant that we've ended all of the editions of this book by sharing what we refer to as the secret to success in life. When we began our study of leadership best, we were fortunate to cross paths with U.S. Army Major General John E. Stanford. We knew that John had grown up poor, that he failed 6th grade, but went on to graduate from Penn State University on a unrocked scholarship, that he survived multiple military tours in both Korea and Vietnam, that he was highly decorated, and that the loyalty of his troops were extraordinary. John headed up the military traffic management command for the U.S. Army during the Persian Gulf War. When he retired from the Army, he became country manager for Fulton County, Georgia. When Atlanta was gearing up to host the 1996 Summer Olympics, John then became superintendent of the Seattle public school system, where he sparked a revolution in public education, public school system, and as well before ultimately untimely passing away from leukemia. All that we learned of John's public service was impressive, but his answer to one of our interview questions significantly influenced our own appreciation of leadership. We asked John how he'd go about developing leaders, whether in college and universities, in the military, in government, in the non-profit sector, or in private business. Here was his reply. When anyone asks me that question, I tell them I have the secret to success in life. The secret to success is to stay in love. Staying in love gives you the fire to ignite other people, to see inside other people, to have a greater desire to get things done than other people. I'll finish here. I think the rest you should read it, but I think this is inspiration enough. This book is really fantastic. I'll repeat it. Please have a look. The Leadership Challenge, 7th edition, How to Make Extraordinary Things Happen in Organizations. Go make extraordinary things, and thank you for listening.